there, but it's not plugged in. You unplugged it.
Yeah, because when I was playing, I didn't feel like I didn't feel like your, I don't know what it's called. I don't feel like your FBI agent looking at me.
It's not on when it's plugged in.
I don't know that.
Are you live yet?
Yeah, he's live.
God don't.
Off the top, right? It was a top 2 situation. Tayson versus Cammy's team. Who's better? Who's cooler? There's a rival deal just came in. Tayson versus Cammy's team. Who's better? Who's cooler? There's a rival deal just came in. They only have about a 10, 15 point-ish lead. Here's that fight.
What sandwich? Seriously, yes.
Pink and Co went down here. Actually, we were able to convert that. We saw Neps go down. Pink and Co were able to get the job done and survive it. So they are going to be able to, no doubt, reboot Neps, bring it back. It's always a good feeling to bring it back. And Cammy said and Teak are trying to bring it back for that back-to-back. And you know,
hello.
This FNCS, we have a lot of champions in here, about 15 or so, who've been a part of either solos, or duos, or trios championships. But we haven't really had a back-to-back or a two-time full trio FNCS champion here in the EU region.
True. Does this count officially as like one of the FNCSs or just a Grand Royale?
I'll count it. I mean, we asked that question earlier. We saw Tayson was able to win the All-Star, right? And a lot of people
what do you mean?
That as an FNCS. Do we take the access away from the old champions that are
whatever.
We should know this. Like, this is honest.
Oh no,
Did you sit up thinking about Joshy all night?
No, oh my god, God, stop it.
Probably just hold on to it for
Jesse, stop.
Chill. Winning the last FNCS is the best because you have the biggest time slot. Just gotta keep it too, right?
I just got word. It counts as an FNCS championship, but not an FNCS for the AXA champions. So Zeke, okay. Zeke got to, can't put in that OT.
Give him a break for the holidays. You know what I mean?
Can't put in that OT.
Nice. Cool. Well, still, it matters a lot to these persons. First of all, is the final trio competition we're kind of looking at, right? At the major
prize
scale
pool as well.
The prize pool is a big thing too. Usually, $100,000 per player would be.
What'd you put in there, Josh? What? Seriously.
For EU, 600K, Sancho. What would you do with 200 grand yourself?
Seriously.
I would buy a keyboard that I could help out with my mates.
Okay, yeah, 200 grand, you buy a keyboard, bro?
Yeah,
for real?
I want to be able to think. I want to be able to win again. You know what I mean?
What? Okay, I respect it. I understand the grind.
What?
Yes, it's all about the grind. You know what I mean? Nah, but seriously, this is.
Bruh.
Jumpstart a future big name in the scene. You've seen what it's changed the life. Let's take a look at a replay of an earlier fight, and we've been seeing this. Ario, they did really well in the in-game last game.
Yes, Arero. Let me check exactly where he is at the moment. So they were rolling in 17th place overall after that last game. I'm looking at their match history, kind of looking like, my grades in high school, down atrocious. But then we picked it back up, right? Grade 11, 12.
Green foot. Seriously.
Of their senior years, they're kind of wrapping things up properly. 6th place, 4 Elam, sticking to the pattern, and stopping Titans really from controlling the game. I'm pretty sure they're the ones to take out Aqua's team one of these games and some other big names. So they're fighting really well. I think they're finally finding their groove inside these finals.
It reminds me of Nets trio in previous FNCS seasons. They would be the one to have a lot of eliminations into the top 10. When it's all coming down to it, they got 2 games here. You're seeing that there's a lot of the big names that still yet to win the FNCS. Vidil, Noah Riley. You still have Thomas HZ and Nas have yet to win the FNCS that kind of round out that top 4. So a lot of first-time opportunities here. And, of course, Janice will be the 3-time FNCS champion. So that's going to be exciting to see. And we're taking a look at some of the stats here. The last 3 seasons, high ground.
Hapu. Hello. Yo, what up?
Yeah, but the pattern's kind of been checkered, at least on day number 1. We saw the back-to-back from Queasy, Thomas HD, and Anas. Those are both from height, I'm pretty sure, right? And then Steady Kemi and Teague, I'm pretty sure, also took height overall in the 7th, 6th, and zone to win their game. And then after that, I think they kind of went back down to low again, and there were some things going on there. But today it has been what patterns have been looking like.
I subbed. Yo, thanks for the sub, bro.
Question. Is someone else going to get a victory royale here in this lobby besides these 4 trios?
So the most interesting
big
thing,
one. That's a big question.
Yeah. To make it interesting, I think Queasy and Austin Thomas HD getting a win would really make the top 4 very, very close. Because the thing is, no matter...
Jesse.
Or is it just a hunt for Astro? It's a hunt for Astro. Okay, we're chilling. The big thing is, when you're talking about what you were saying before, right? Like who can get the win really, and how would it change things? If it's Queasy and Thomas HD, we have 4 teams. No matter who it is, our top 3 will still be very consistent. They're not going down before top 10 really. Look at Steady Kemi Teague's history, right? First, 7th, 9th, 10th, Taysom Chapix, 6th, 1st, 11th. Everyone's doing pretty well to stay in the business. So whoever it is, I think if it's in the top 5, top 6, that'll really make things interesting. If it's anyone further past that, they're stealing points away and also making the game a lot closer inside the top 5.
Force going down in the feed. Asian FNCS champion. But this is what exactly right now. The top 3 or top 4 running a clean race. Nothing throwing a wrench in their plan. No one's going down early. There's nothing shocking is happening right now. So we're still waiting with the bated breath to get into the mid. That's where the things get kind of dicey. Like who's not doing the storm surge? Tayson and Hen and Chapis here are going to need this tags right here. And there you talked about they've been going up against. That's not a good trio to kind of push against, considering they've been doing really well and taking out big names.
I like to give trios tags. For me, Orero's just kind of like a sea urchin. Every time this team has to walk up to him, first of all, they don't understand what they're dealing with. They're just going to have a good time and go for surge. They step on it, get spiky, and just roll into a lot of toxic type of fights. You know, some barbed wire inside that, I don't think sea urchins have barbed wires, but they have barbs. It's the closest thing, but...
Yep. When I went on vacation on a cruise, man, there's nothing scarier than seeing like 20 sea urchins on the floor, on the sea floor, and you're just like trying not to step on one. They hurt, brother.
And these guys are on like height. Sky sea urchins. Sky urchins, man. It's getting crazy and wild in EU. We're making mythical beasts.
Be careful, because we might see a sky urchin next season. Yeah, don't give anyone else ideas right now. Flying away,
we're chilling.
We've been holding down the center.
Hello.
I got a million trillion things. Looks like the second zone.
What up, bro?
Has caused a lot of our players to set up in this mountainous area. We've seen this before in the previous day, and Scram, thankfully, there is not a bolt sniper here. Still is going to be able to keep in this fight. Let's take a look at a replay here.
Hey, bro, you know I'm actually live streaming the FNCS thing.
Trio, Michael Verox and rolling through.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh my God. Ooh, that was a nice quick edit there to get that elimination. And here we are, Anas.
I'm live streaming on YouTube though. My YouTube channel name is Bryson Plays with 2 Z's at the end. BRYSON though. Bryson Plays, spelled BRYSONPLAYZZ.
But every time I see a solo player in a bush, I expect a shadow cube opponent to land in and go for the 1 pump.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a Shadow Spectre. Ops team's going to take a look.
No.
So far clear. No Riley the deal. Now we're in this box fight against Swag. First time seeing Swag and Pablo.
Hey, them default, leave me alone.
Gloomy. Oh no, on the wrong end of the Ops team. You don't want to be here. Getting another barrel stuff. Vidil knocking out Gloomy. We're just seeing this is what's happened in the previous game. They get a clean box fight. The Janice Vidil and No Riley got to quickly wrap this up because the third team is here, Shia.
To balance this team, we need to put
the profile picture, it's the letters BP.
You're fighting No Riley Vidil.
There's a white background with the letters BP in red and blue.
For minutes on end inside the mid game, they're wrapping up in seconds.
This is not the fight you want to take right now.
Do what?
Though. We saw it before. They will go down when
PS4.
from a different angle will show up.
It might have to be a fight they must take. Oh, just 55 damage above.
Yeah, I'll play on PS4.
The reason they're here, the reason they're fighting is Surge.
I know. It just looks scary. It just looks super scary, man.
55 all the way up to 241. They're fine. And
Yeah, I'm putting him off right here.
Crazy around, and Pablo Ringo and Swag kind of in trouble. Sneak going for a big revive. Force finally down, and that's Malabuka down once again on the backside. He's trying to recuperate, do anything.
I know.
Once again, we talked a lot about first, right, Sancho, in the 600K. Look at the entire prize pool breakdown. Everything's kind of doubled. Even for the teams who are down at the bottom, right, all the way at 33rd place. It's not a lot to do. And that is Bad Sniper's team to elevate, not just walk away with 9,000, but even more, double that if you play these last two games very well.
The jump up from the prize pool is monstrous once you get into the top 10. You go from 9,000 in the 26 to 33rd, and you go to 44. And Badil and Janice and O'Reilly, they want it all. They want that $600,000, and Janice eliminates Bad Sniper. So that run of doubling up your efforts and collecting it back from Bad Sniper.
BRYSON PLAYZZ.
The overhand right coming right over and getting that knockoff blow. And considering that they're satisfied with the work they've done, they're going to go ahead and disengage.
Yeah, one of the closest teams towards the zone as well. They get to choose when everyone leaves, and Badil keeps getting blocked. I want to hear what the comments are like if you ever had an opportunity in terms of players in front of you putting walls down behind. All good though. Scram, Benji Fishy took out Hellfire. He gets a reboot up at Lazy Lake, but I'm pretty sure
I should have 162 subscribers.
Here it is, and maybe Tayson and Hen and Chapix will be able to take advantage again. Benji and Dreaded Savage, they cannot go down in this opportunity, and we've been seeing Lazy Lake being one of those things where the storm goes through. A lot of teams will be able to survive and get a lot of placement points. So if you're even a solo,
it's BRYSON PLAYZZ.
who's just been resurrected through the ban.
Yup, and then we see Hen Chapix Tayson still going in for that beam. In terms of Benji, though, a team that might be running out of steam overall from 7th place. Yeah, they're stacked overall game to game, but now all the way down to 11th, now down 2 players. It's going to be tough for Savage to clutch it overall.
You can just see right now, insert that gif of the guy, you know, wringing his hands, going, ooh, we got a third-party opportunity here. That's what Hen, Chapix, and Tayson are doing, taking advantage of that, and they might get more opportunities walking their way.
Really good dynamic position from them too. Hen Chapix, and Tayson got in very, very quickly and claimed one of the bigger hills over here all the way at Lazy Lake.
Where is it?
Okay, Jesse.
It's crazy how Scram got Hellfire back into this game.
Wait, how do you spell play?
We've seen
PLAYZZ.
knocked by Benji, but then they turn it all the way around.
Wait, what?
After that reboot was nuts.
This trio
It's
is in 5th
PL.
place, so they put together one of those games that could put
AY.
Let's take a look at a replay here. Scram recently being rebooted, just using the old school crouch technique and surprising and stopping that res and getting a knock on Benji. And here's a pop off from Scram. We had a great interview with him during the hype hour, and Scram is feeling it.
Yep.
It's just great from him too, just to be able to get a teammate back up into the game from the side of Hellfire, and then get ahead of the game by stealing away all of Steamy Stacks' loot.
And that's the second time that Andretti's trio has been the wrong end, or, you know, they've been going down after someone gets brought back in. Queasy did the same thing. He brought him back in, and all of a sudden they go down. So some bad vibes are happening in the mid-game for Benji and co.
Look at the top side, though. One of the biggest things is that every single team has been super consistent. That's really good to kind of maintain your spot in the top 5.
Is it okay if I add you?
Crazy pop-offs, right?
What?
Crazy double-digit Elan games when you
Is it okay if I add you?
You miss one game, you're going to be down
on PlayStation?
bad. Down atrocious, actually.
I have PlayStation, yeah, but I'm not on my PlayStation.
Oh. Oh, you mean you want to sub to me?
It's that tragic FPCS slide. As you've seen, he's not even in the overall leaderboard here in the top 5. We've been seeing him throughout the entire tournament, but now that is what's at stake of people walking into this match.
It can either be on PlayStation or in the game.
That's really the conversation right now. Usually it is top 5, but you look at Flow's Hellfire and Scram, they're kind of on their little own island, battling with Kefi, battling with Hottie, past ECQ. The top 4 past that 350-point limit, past the 360-point limit. One of these teams needs to make a difference right now in this game.
Let's take a moment here and wait. Storm Surge. Okay, they're just above. That is still bad.
That's 140.
If you're thinking, oh, they're above, that's cool. No, it's the moving Storm Surge that will be a factor. So Queasy and Austin Thomas HC are have to pick carefully at what engagement they want. If they get the tags, great. If not, they're going to have to knock on someone's door to ask for those Storm Surge tags.
It's kind of like getting an exam result that just gets worse the more you look at it. So, like, try not to too much. Just focus on exactly what's happening in front of you. They were 94 all the way down to 38. That means every other team around them is really dropping down damage, and they're very close to kind of just not having enough damage line whatsoever. There's a bad line. No other team's really fighting. They're in that position as well. Look over at height. Who is it? Hot off the last game. Vidil, Noah Riley, Janice.
Hey bro, what season did you start playing Fortnite?
Circle. Depending on where this goes, you can really change the game up here. And it goes not towards them. Max. Oh no! Wait a minute! At the same time, Noah Riley needs to survive. Vidil,
Season 3, Chapter 1.
In front of them that's probably fighting is low on Surge as well. Vidil's in trouble.
No.
Noah Riley has to punch against the 9th zone right now.
Chapter 2, Season 3, started playing.
This is not going to be one of those nightmare situations that Noah Riley, Janice, and Vidil.
I started playing back in Chapter 1, Season 5.
Gets elimination on bound. Nicely done to Vidil. Stop the push, but oh no! Down goes Janice. Janice is in trouble here. Wait, no, Janice is still on his feet. Okay, that's my mistake. No, there it is. He finally goes down. Noah Riley, Vidil. This is how fast it happens, folks. In the blink of an eye, you're sitting up at high, feeling good, and someone sneaks up on you. And Vidil and Noah Riley may have to do this by themselves, considering that their two-time FNCS champion has been eliminated.
You heard what Levin said as well. Janice is the reason Noah Riley and Vidil get to play these games so free. Sanfi, the last person, pumped out. Noah Riley gets that elimination. No, it's actually stolen by Voon all the way in the distance. He can't find the launch pad. That might be one of the most clutch chunk splashes as well. Would have had just 1 HP rolling in. Maybe he can survive a pump
Shoot glider again.
He gets in. No one touched Noah Riley in the sky. He's alive.
Those astronomical
thing. The duel's there. Their pilot is down. Maybe the comms are enough to get them towards the end game.
They're going to have to rely on them as a duo. I know FNCS's duo is coming down the pipe, but Noah Riley and Vidil, in order to hold on the first place, we're about to cross another placement threshold.
I was talking to my cousin.
2 more places, it would be huge for them if they could just stay on their feet.
And one of the most dynamic forces inside EU, but you have to remember, they're both usually the ones being active as well inside these end games. They're going to be nerfed by half. One of these players will have to build, while the other one just tries to survive the entire time and follows through. Meanwhile, Cammy on the bottom left, 388 points. He's going to be next in line right beside Tayson at 389. Everyone looking to catch up around 50 points behind the first place competition, and they saw Janice go down in the feed. They know what's up for stakes. These top 4 teams need to hold on till the top 4. If any one of them go down early, they lose a chance at first place inside this Grand Royale.
That's why it's so vital as a duo. They could stay up and eat up those placement points, match it. They have those eliminations that were able to boost their lead just a little bit here. And oh no, they go for that edit over peak, and Teak pays the price here. He's gonna have to put on pause on this rotate, flies over the height. And doesn't get any tag. This is gonna go near Gorgeous Gorge. It feels like it could bounce back up north towards it, but very scary terrain, and that's why Teak said he can't.
Billy Bounce, yeah.
They want to operate right now as a mid to high ground team.
I like the thought process.
Do what?
Though he might have missed on that last edit. The next one, though, fully
Take the L? No.
Not even wavered, going for a little bit more damage. Look at Sunny start once again, but as we get towards the zones, we have the top tier team of high ground inside of here to try to get control. Down below Surge, though, you're right, Sancho. Anas does go down. All up to Thomas and Queasy to try to keep the dream alive. 100 damage will hit Thomas HD above that Surge as well. Queasy somewhere lost in the sauce down below. He has no shields. That's to just activate by himself as a solo player supporting the big build of Thomas HD. But Thomas is way high in the sky in the clouds. Can't see anyone really down below. It might be a downpour of shots as well that they have to throw. But these players down below have umbrellas. They have protection. There's no way a duo can just crack down on the mid-ground level of height. There's so much of a difference between high and low right now. Look at all the teams. It's Reason and Fastroki with Aqua, who actually built forward inside the zone and try to pull high ground as well. Thomas HD forced to go down. The rain is over. The new gods are here to stay on height and claim back the game.
Aqua doing Aqua things and going ahead and building up the height, stopping Thomas HD and Queasy's run. You saw in the feed, Noah Riley picked up another 4-point elimination, but Noah Riley gets out by Clement. So it's all going to be to Vidil to see if he can be able to hold on and get those valuable points. Thomas HD, Queasy, now it's Thomas HD, and no, they're gone. Tayson in hand now as a duo are going to be able to overtake their spot. It's all happening right now. Here goes Tayson. Now he has the solo clutch, has to dip into the FNCS solo clutch gene to see what he can do for his trio. Enemies on box, enemies above, enemies below, but he is not wavered. He is not afraid. He's just taking his time. 30 tag, not enough Shio, and he's about to go down into the shadows of the low ground.
Yep, and as all these distractions happen on every single layer, who's there on low? Seti and Teak still alive. Less shields, they're gonna thrive though. Tayson as a solo, trying to hold on to some form of lead, 429 points. The placement's doubled up and it's really coming in. This medkit might be a popular position to pop as well, but it's not gonna be possible as he goes all the way down towards low ground. This is trouble, this is desperation. No walls over here, and might be able to be seen through these edits, but no. Incognito, he's looking fine. Teak and Seti, though, they're down.
They're down and out, and right now Aqua is now on high here, but we are focusing on the tournament. Look at Tayson! Tayson with the two-piece! Tayson's not going down without a fight!
That's just absolutely catastrophic. 8 team in front of them.
8 points.
What a driving force by Tayson. 8 points and the placement rattle in. Pablo Wingo will try to survive this onslaught of a big power team. He's going to be by himself, barely any materials, hashed out in 3 different ways. Aqua, Reason, Fast Roki finally alive to open their eyes and get their first victory royale.
They get the victory royale, but the clutch by Tayson here, able to hold on. But hey, the rest of the lobby has decided to play in this FNCS Grand Finals, and they're making an appearance. But Tayson right now looking strong.
In Grand Royale formats like this and tournaments that are this close, it's a game of inches towards the very end. What Tayson just did might be the difference maker in this last game. That was just so impressive. That far down in the line, low HP, the first 175. To get the second elimination is nuts. But for Aqua, Fast Roki and Reason to be activated now, Sancho, I mean, you must be happy for that, number one. Second off, that is a lethal force that's ready to play the game.
I'm happy. Not about me though, you know, Aqua is no doubt the GOAT. Aqua is gonna be able to put his boys in position of Fast Roki and Reason. If they just have to do it again, it was when Aqua did his Aqua thing, jumping to the front side of Storm, dipping into the Storm to eat that damage and be able to build up, and that's when it kind of turned the tide here. But maybe the tide is turning. That's the first time we had a victory royale that hasn't been accrued by our top 4.
Absolutely, the door is kind of open
Coming.
to see who the leader is of all these trios, but only one can really fit in. Who has those broad shoulders? Who's blocking everyone else out? Well, Zeke, Levin, and Reese, they've got the answers.
Okay, Casey.
And talking about broad shoulders, it's only you, Shot Wager, you know,
Casey.
someone else in this world. Wow, my goodness.
Okay, it's gonna be quick. I just need to remember.
Reason.
Casey.
They start that game.
What's your username?
In 23rd place.
For me?
Now, they have a victory royale. 9 eliminations. We talked about
Wait,
it.
for what?
The 10 points being 100, so they're just below that line. But let's take a look at this. This is that kind of key moment, right, Levin? They have enough. They pat on over, and they take high. They say, whatever happens, we're going to lock down this game because we want the W.
I really don't.
Yeah, we've always known that Aqua's sort of philosophy around the game is playing for height, and so it was coming, right? Reese, like, this game was eventually going to happen. As bad as they seemingly have been over the past sort of day or two, it was going to come eventually. And look, this is a team that, in theory, you could have seen doing a lot better. Of course, Sancho predicted them to win the whole thing because, you know, you look at Stroke, you look at Reason, 2 of the most talented players in the sort of whole region in the world. And of course, Aqua, who's this veteran who will just get results more times than not. And a great win. Don't get me wrong, a very, very good win. I'm really interested to see where that puts them in the standings now. And whether that's actually going to be enough to maybe actually throw them into the fight now, coming into the sort of last game.
Just a little add on that. Pablo looked a little bit lost. He wasn't really sure they were coming from too many different angles there. He was looking up, and they're all down below. Let's have a look. Where are they at here on the leaderboard? They've not jumped up into the top 10, actually. But look at the first and second place with 2 games remaining. Vasil, Janet, Noah, and Hen, Tayson, and Chapek tied on 441 points. So close behind them, can we say, taken third with 428. And we can't absolutely not miss out on Quizzy Score 60 on 392 with this format, with a 10 elimination being 100 points. Like, the next 2 games are so close within these top 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to the wire. Like, and both teams are performing so well. Of course, that game was a bit of a more quiet game for some of our top teams, it felt like. These last 2 won't be. They just can't afford to be. And for that reason alone, you know, things are really going to get intense here. I can't really call it either way. There's no one in particular that I think, well, nah, I think they're going to edge it. Like, all four of these guys in the top four, I feel like are just really strong right now.
I know. It's incredible to watch. We've had the luxury of sitting here for the last 2 days to see how it got up to this point. The last 2 games left. It is really all to play for. The 2.2 or 2 point, I'm trying to figure out the exact decimal, 35 million and
It's been correct at
$300
Fortnite
on
one.
the line. The $600,000 for first, and it's so close.
Yeah, no, I'm liking this because I think that game as well was really interesting because you sort of got a lot of these teams who now will be fighting for the spot sort of below that, right? Showing what they can do, and a lot of them, of course, you know, we really talked about for good reason. They're a team that, like, their level of play is not that far off. We've constantly talked about the continuity of trios throughout the year and how that's evolved. I think last FNCS where Cammy City in Teague 1, that was like the best performance we've seen from any team all year. With some of these teams, I feel like this is the best sort of collective performances we've seen, where you have a lot of these teams now putting in all-time performances in the trios context, and that is just beautiful to the eye, right? If you appreciate good Fortnite, this is it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we were talking about just before we came on here was obviously back in Season 5 when we saw Noah really with the deal, alongside we had Reason on the team at that time, they just missed out, unfortunately, on winning. And that was the season that obviously Hen Janice Chaptix won. Right now, they're coming back together, so close, so ready for that first place. And like, they were so close in Season 5. We're in Season 8 now. It's the end of the year in comparison to the start of the year. These guys are ready to try and take it, but there's 3 other hungry teams out there who are also playing out of their minds.
The best storyline, the thing we could have never predicted, Reese. I love that you tied this up in a ribbon for us, but now we need the bow on top. 2 more games, Fortnite fam. This could still go any which way, so it's time to find out how this continues to unfold. This is game number 11 of the Grand Royale in EU.
Didn't we tell you, folks, don't go anywhere. It is exciting. It is the best region when it comes to like just competitive play. You're seeing it all right now, and we have the big names are just putting on a show, Shio.
Yeah, and usually it's a one-page show. It's a very short play. It's just the top 5 teams that have a little bit of a line in the conversation. Right now, we got the full book, Sancho West. We have the bottom placing teams also still fighting. Aqua finally waking up, Reason with a crazy height retake, making it interesting on all sides of the board.
And 2 games are left. And at the end of those 2 games, someone's going to walk away with $600,000. That's 200. What's that math? $200,000 a piece. And I'm going to walk away with a fancy keyboard if I want that grand prize. It's game 11, folks. Let's go. Cannon, Savage, and Benji survive this off-drop fight between Mustache and Shizo and Malabuka. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. This is going to have ripple effects in the next season. But Savage gets knocked by ETQ. The flyby.
What is going on? So ETQ Pink obviously having a lot of struggles overall from their side of the map. I'm not even sure if I have that trio correct. ETQ, I think, is on a separate team entirely. We'll see just
Hottie and
it's Hottie Elo Crash. So definitely something going on the top side of the map. Maybe they got to land first and have a few beams over at the top side of the mountain that's right beside Steamy Stacks, but Malibu and Shizo Mustache are actually alling in on this spot. That pull actually there on Savage, so something's going on at Steamy Stacks. Maybe some of these teams on the back end of things are trying to go where the chaos is. They assume that Mustache, Malibu, and Shizo are still fighting Savage. They want to have as many eliminations as possible. A chance for them, really, right? What's the best way to get Elim, Sancho?
Just go right for it.
Third party, right? Third party as well.
Go
Go right for it. Go for the third party. If you know guaranteed every game that Mustache is getting knocked, Benji's getting knocked, the best place to find Elims is Steamy Stacks. So maybe these bottom placing teams to double up the money they're going to win out here to make the difference, especially when the points are doubled up. They want to fight Savage. Mustache and Malabuka aren't there. They're creating their own third party fights. What's going on here?
I feel like making this mean joke. It's the last game of the season. You got to try it. It always feels that way. You know what I mean? It's the last 2 games of the FNCS season, literally the last 2 games of the year. And Malibuca and co pull out this play of going down the corny. And Savage, I think they're going to bring him back eventually, no doubt. But still, Deceptos gets an elimination to Andalex. But wow, what a shakeup. I mean, it just lets you know that these entire games that we've been watching have been kind of consistent. They've been playing out the form. But Fortnite's going to Fortnite, and they're going to mix it up here for the last 2 frames.
Yeah, this mix-up gets both ingredients really close to each other. X3 Sports Jar and Alex been completely separate in different bakeries the entire day. No chance for them to actually have a shot at Deceptos whatsoever. Deceptos lands the islands, they move, especially in this zone. This time though, Sancho, when Elims are 4 points a pop, when you take out a trio and you get 12 points plus a little bit of placement, Deceptos is there to fight just like in Season 5. Like, this is gonna get absolutely dirty. Hence over here at Misty Meadows. Might have to change the POI name after they're done with it in this last 2 games. And already Andalex down. I find him going down early on over and over again. Not sure what's happening inside this trio, but they're going to be one leg out of the race as Zippos, Floki, and Clement actually claim Misty Meadows for the first time.
We are finally seeing the EU aggression that it's known for. Where all of a sudden, when everything is coming down to the closing, when it's closing time, people go into their playbooks, reach for those final trick plays, and all of a sudden getting those eliminations. So that first Storm Surge is going to be a factor, considering that not a lot of people may see that first checkpoint, as Sundown would like to point out. So Tayson, Hen, and Chapix, who have been on the borderline throughout the entire day with Storm Surge being
Yeah,
like 90, 80 above, they're going to have to be very wary of that going forward.
Yeah, don't let Benji Savage
Do what?
Oh,
teams
you know
dive
that
in.
Elf
Distract
can
you
do,
from the
right?
fact that Tayson, Hen, and Chapix,
Elf
441 points, are tied for
I
first
thought
place
you
right now
see
with
that.
Janice the Deal.
Exactly.
Noah Riley.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, when you're looking at things right now as well, the last game we watched from Tayson, somehow they're first and they're not playing perfect, Sancho. They're not at their full power level. They're not playing as a team really off of this POI. They're doing their own thing. It's working out. They're in good spots. They start on height and win games, but they're down on surge sometimes. Sometimes it's a one-man show at endgame. There's no tarper that I can identify for that team at all. Meanwhile, Badul, O'Reilly, Janice, they're doing everything correctly. It seems like they're playing perfectly, but they can't separate themselves from the pack.
And remember, Janice went down in one of those early engagements on their rotate. So Badil and Noah Riley were working with their leader in the pack. And wow, there's so much action. Let's take a look at some of the replays that's happened here for the Osprey engagements. As you see in here, Indreda, Savage, and Benji bringing them back, so they're going to be fine. But still, a lot of money up for grabs for everything. And Sky gets doubled right there and eliminated. 4 points converted. All the madness on the island is happening, and still Thomas HD, I always love this, you know, he understands he's probably been shot in the back before doing this strategy, so that's why he's building on that.
He understands, but I think Sky is the one who gave him that PTSD over and over again. You know, they get contested here sometimes, especially with this new age thing, especially with all the cash cups, but the fact there that, you know, in game time, we have so many reboots as well rolling in. Every team is kind of cleaning up fights fast, maybe just rolling one player off as a cost, and then getting everybody back in the game. That's pretty good.
And we saw that Sapphire and Shades in the NA West region, the most reboots that's ever happened here. 10 plus. So, hey, teams are bringing them back. No doubt that has been a change for the reboot card being longer and the change that you don't have to pick it up. We've been seeing its effects not only in the competitive scene, but in it's always nice just to be able to drive over a card and get your player back in with all the time.
Bilingual.
Trying to defend their crown. They're still within the conversation. Of course, they're right there. We've seen them be able to do it, but it's only 20 points or so. So it's like they're right behind them. So it's very close.
No matter what zone it is, these guys are always there, and they're always playing consistently, right? They don't always skip on any games. If you're talking about conversations and who's kind of in the room, people who are getting quieter right now will be probably super quiet this game as well. Queasy and us, Thomas HD. The reason they were playing so well yesterday, Mountain Zone, Retail Row, they literally have a perfect game plan every time the game goes towards the eastern section of the map. Anywhere near Dirty Dogs, that is literally their playground. I could honestly bet for a victory royale, and I would have a high chance of that being possible inside this lobby with Queasy and us, Thomas HD. The issue is they're not getting any zones today, Sancho. They don't have a position of control. They're always leaving, and people are getting more desperate. Aqua diving in, taking 50 damage of the storm to have high ground. Queasy can't even handle the people who are trying to contest and hop around him. It's too chaotic, too much energy. And they're struggling here for their win condition.
Take a look at the mini-map. You're seeing it is a central zone. That is the home zone, and that is Bony Birds. You see right there those blue arrows right above Bony Birds. That's Aqua's trio. And if they could string together these last two games, they could inch their way closer and closer. And the reason why I picked them, honestly, is because of this day two factor. If they get high ground, they've known to get those double-digit eliminations. And you talked about stealing points. They will steal points away from anyone that likes to play high. And that's going to be sometimes the Queasies of the world, the Taysons of the world. Like Tayson's game with the trio, they're very flexible, but no doubt they want to be on height to avoid Cammy, Setty, and Teak on the low ground.
If they end up at low ground, though, I'll already give the play of the tournament here to Tayson, possibly. I said it when it happened last game. It might not be the most
Riley one was hot.
No, Riley popped off and might have the best clutch overall, but Tayson, the fact that you're that low by yourself and you convert on a team in the top 5 in a game where you can't really win, clutches like that that are unseen go so far inside your 12-game tournament overall, especially when there's double points. Let's take a look at Kiriachi real quick. How things are fighting off spawn at Sludgy Swamp. He's still active. Blotch, I feel like, is getting into so many fights.
I'm leaving.
Still have to deal with Crow on the other side. This is going to be tough, so a little bit overwhelming overall. Also, looking at the replays, you can see 4-0 going down in the feet to Clement. So, super early, that hunt still going down. The Misty team being fully converted on. Badil, Janice, and O'Reilly, they're not going to be part of any of that action. So it's really good that they just get to stay invisible as well from Believer Beach.
And there's the Jesco.
Just to pick up what Reese said during the break, if you didn't miss it, Badil and O'Reilly have been in this position before. They've been in a top 2 situation going through the end game, and they went down because a third-party Bolt sniper took out Noah Riley from the back. And all of a sudden, that opened the door for him, Janice, and Chapwick at the time to do that $100,000 box fight. You and I, Shai, we were at front row seat. We saw that all. Right now, there's still a couple games to work with here. But still, you no doubt that's in the back of Badil Noah Riley's mind, considering they were right in the running. They were right there. They were a couple rotations away. And Janice being able to be, that's kind of like wild to see that only in Fortnite, someone that took away your championship run is now on their team. So it's just so wild to see.
What's even wilder, too, is the fact that I feel like both teams kind of missed the alarm clock this game. That being Tayson and Janice. When they're rolling in, and you can kind of combine the name if you want, but overall, they already have elims when they start out, right? A little bit earlier on in the mid-game, maybe they're going for a box fight type of scenario. We saw it multiple times from Badil Noah Riley. Now they're playing it safe. Even in the top 4, though, this isn't the safest as you can be if you don't hit the shots. Janice, that's beautiful with the legendary burst they are. In these spots, Sancho, we find even the best teams down on Surge, but it looks like Janice is ahead of the pack. Setty, Cammy, Teak, they've been struggling. They go for this 2-box diagonal base and they look for shots. They never really land them, and they're just double digits on Surge.
The reason why I said uh-oh is because Crow and Co is right there looming in the distance. They're really far off. But if they're going to be part of this rotational wedge, they got to be careful. Cammy, Setty, Teak, if Crow's trio is under Surge, they will barrel start. Go all out, and they will be able to disrupt the clean rotation that Cammy.
Do you stream every day?
They rotated all the way from the crash site.
Not really, no.
Onto the dead side, where we saw Kirachi already go down. So this whole south region.
I only stream when I feel like it.
It's really clean, but also very different. I like the fact to bring up that Kiriachi's actually down. For these top 5 teams in practice right now, right? You can see them on the left side of your field. In finals, in these lobbies, Kiriachi is usually the one dictating what happens on the south side zone, especially when it wraps up over here. With him being down, they're not going to be used to exactly what goes down, what these high ground trios will be doing, what the game looks like. This will be brand new for every team here. I think Teak, Setty, and Cammy will be the least effective because they like to roll in at low ground. They're also ones with a lot of pressure to catch up, right? Who's the Anastamas HD, Sancho? They missed like half a game. They fell back about 50 points. Now you're looking at Setty, Cammy, Teak. They still had a good game, but they're behind that first place team, and they're only going to fall further back if they don't do anything. Look at Thomas HD right now. 10 damage above. They just spaced up. Okay, true. Every time I call him out, he's there ready to play. 62, I like to see it, but they need more. 96 wasn't enough before, Sancho. 150 was taken away in a matter of 1.5 seconds. It's going to be at least 200 to 300 if they want to be comfortable.
That's what we saw in the previous match. It's not about this 50-man surge. It's about the 30 moving surge that's going to be the question mark that they hopefully have the answer for. Thomas AC using that mythical burst AR from Doc Sloan, getting some big tags, triple 26. You might want to celebrate that, but when you're getting into a Weeping Wood zone, sightlines are going to be soon disappear due to the trees.
I want to check that burst AR as well. This man's been curving bullets. I swear to God, that went around and off.
It's mythical. Mythical.
Pass a brick, and then the landed 3 body shots in a row. Like, once again, he's the only one doing damage on his team. If we can get, like, at some point in the future, a surge stats, how much damage a player's done in certain zones. I want to see Thomas HD's.
Hey, the definition for mythical is occurring in or characteristic of myths or folk tales. Right now, Thomas HD is becoming a folk hero. Have yet to win an FNCS alongside with the NOS. This might be the one, considering they came in so many times so close to getting that job done.
Colored pair of glasses on. I don't know if he had like the magnetic ones or what, but they're
Look from the outside in though. Comeback stories, always lots of fun, and kind of only have a chance to start, or I guess end, in the second last game. Scram, Hellfire, Flois from 5th to 6th place overall. This is the team that overtook them, Future Sapphic and Lusha. This is the game where they actually have to stop being normal trios. Need to elevate themselves, become top 3, place top 3. If not, Sancho, they're stuck in the mud.
This is I know I'm positive, but as a player in these kind of set lobbies, I hate when someone tarps right next to you and sits on you. Have this high ground on this plateau, Thomas DC, and all of a sudden here comes Sapphic Trio and they want to be neighborly, and you're just like, no, dude, like I worked hard for this spot. Go away.
The Future will have the vantage points. The issue for Thomas HD right now as well is no one's really made that forest exciting and lit at all. There's no fire at all on the trees. They're still up. The sight lines are blocked on the low ground. A lot of trios haven't moved in yet, so they might be able to turn around. And NOS has a very good line of sight on anyone coming in from the backside of the zone. Thomas is still trying to fight. You cannot trip up here. This is going to be very dangerous. That's not his floor. He can't edit. Has to back up. This man's basically caught in an entire monstrosity of builds and doesn't know what's what, where's where, who's who. This is going to be really tough. The Squeeze is actually the one to take a lot of damage. Remember, it's not just a trio they're fighting, Sancho. Everyone on the map is looking for free damage as well. Bad Sniper finally leveling up, takes out Benji Fishy, who's struggling once again to get past in a mid-game in these final moments. Every single team, if they just expose themselves for a second and make a mistake, it's done.
We gotta look at like where is Sapphic on the Storm Surge as well. Either we already saw Thomas Ishii's right on the border, so he may be willing to take this box fight, but if Putrick and Sapphic and Lucia are not, that's gonna be they're gonna just be on full defense and let Storm Surge create these opening edits for them. We've seen Storm Surge just create this pressure, the mechanic plays go out the window, and all you have to do if you know that other team's struggling on Surge, you just sit there and wait with an edit or the kind of charge shotgun and you get the job done. So that is what's on the line in that engagement.
Let me super close by. No Riley Janice Vidal doing usually what Queasy Thomas HT2, and that's drive. That's all they really want to do. Upkeep the power, make sure this final hour is going to be going towards their favor. So no elims just yet. Going to be the same with Tayson in terms of just being tied overall. But this trio, Dioxys and Hens, are the only ones that are actually active in every single game. They're finding elims, whether that's early or all the way in the end. They have a say, and they're being at least the most minimally consistent inside the field today.
I feel like Dioxys trio is like maybe a couple seasons away from cracking into that top 5. They had a great performance in the previous FNCS, and right now still in that in the conversation 9 going into this fight. But you could see a lot of the early seeding or the early stories building right now for other trios.
That we'll see exactly how they switch it up, because it is going to be duo, Sancho. Maybe there's cash costs will roll back in, right, and they'll have a chance to level up there, but it's cool to see exactly how these tools will split apart as well. Who will end up playing with 2 in that position. If you did have more confidence on that scale, definitely that Spaniard trio will be one to look out for. This one as well, I feel like Seti Kamitik, as good as they are, they're not done improving. They're not at their peak just yet. They're super good. But they could be so much better. They're at 100, they could still be at 1,000%. They just get better every single tournament.
And that's what's scary. They were the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Remember, they were the reboot gods, and they would have gone through if we had that consistent most during the reboot rounds. But they were unable to get reboots. So you're just showing you stick together as a trio. If you fail, you rise together. You learn from your mistakes. Cammy setting T, capturing the FNCS with a chance to go back to back here.
We get it. We'll take both of them off and we'll put them on now.
And once again, back-to-back has not been done before. Deox down, though. So that's the issue with the way some teams play. You can have one Elam every single game, but there's a difference in how you do it. Guaranteed Elams, if you make an end game, that's the way that, you know, I think Vidil's team's been doing it. They've been going all the way towards the end, especially with Hen, being very consistent. This is one of those POVs. For Deox, it's been kind of different. They always go for these mid-early game fights. As a result, their team ends up going down every now and then, doesn't always have a top 10 placement. Still rack up the points, but here's the story. Two teams tied at the top POV and the bottom right. At the left, previous champions, still reigning champions, looking to lock things down. They made things exciting, but at the same time, pretty quiet in the way they won just a few, I guess, literally a month ago. But this time, Sancho, they have to catch up. They're not going to be 300, 200 points ahead.
I am really concerned on that bottom right POV, the rotation they have to make. Look at it. They have to go through so many, and they're behind Surge. Good tags, yes. That's what you want. It gets them just above 30, 18 above. But the rest of the lobby still putting damage. They're going to have to pad over and hopefully sneak into the safe zone and then take a box fight. They might pad on top of somebody and cause a ruckus.
The ties are distracting you as well. If you retired a long time ago and just like tuning into the broadcasts every now and then, welcome. For Grand Royale right now, it's double points if you weren't aware from day 2 to day 1. So Vidil, Janice, Noah Riley don't figure out the surge. If they miss the game at this point in the top 23, Sancho, they're going to be down hundreds of points.
They want this. They need this. They need this engagement. And Joe closes the door and takes out the deal. The deal going down. And once again, this trio loses a member in rotation here on Zone 4.
Dill still might be able to get picked up. Noah Riley and Janice have to do something to stay together. This is not the duo that really puts in the work when they're alive in the end game. That's usually Vidil and Noah Riley together. Still no strangers to the clutch. Vidil finally out 33 above. They're dodging damage for now, but really need to confirm something in at some point. They're still not going to find that much. 162 from Janice on the reply. That surge will come back to the 7 against Sancho. It's not even done yet right now. It's down to 67. They just lost 70 surge overall.
The heck?
And they lost their teammate. Thomas picked up 2 eliminations in the feed while we were watching this scrum. You see Benji and Savage doing what they like to do on the top right of your screen, being comfortable and taking on shots from a distance. Benji does lose his shield here, but we're going to stay zeroed in, locked in to Noah Riley and Janice as Tayson picks up elimination and feed on Gray. So now, Noah Riley, Janice, what can they do as a duo? We saw Janice go down last match. Now the deal goes down. Let's see if this duo could work together here to get something. The ramp block, oh my goodness. That was so scary. A ramp almost stopped Noah Riley from hitting that pad.
One team deciding for a low pad and putting a little bit of stress all the way over towards Noah Riley and Janice. They go a little bit towards the front side of the zone. Not sure exactly who's beside them, but
Thomas
they can expand a little bit.
Right below.
Oh my goodness. Savage down. Seti picks them out. They're definitely going to be at a good spot as well. Just know this right now, the top 16 teams are all alive. Usually one of them is down or has made a mistake. In this penultimate game rolling in with EU, we're gonna have every single team that can make a difference ready to actually die for it inside Weeping Woods.
We see here Thomas H3 is on 406 points. He's trying to crack into that top 3 situation for them to maybe win it all in the next game here. You cannot go down in this situation considering that an L early here, you will lose out on bonus placement points once it gets into the top 17. They have someone on their layer. They were able to push them out here. The rotation happens. They have some little bit of a rotation to work through, and there's just so many trails alongside their way. Did they get that knock? Yes, Thomas HG picks up Indretta. Thomas HG is going to be able to get 1 elimination. That's 4 points. Once that's confirmed, yes, it gets confirmed. But Aqua is in the feed as well. Can Aqua match and get a back-to-back Grand Royale? We will see.
When Aqua's hot, he doesn't slow down. It's going to be Deox, Pro, and Jose all the way up on height.
Those Spaniards, man.
Down early.
Those Spaniards.
We can see the 2 POVs, one all the way up on height, setting up in the sky, going to be low very soon, but there's a mountain in the way. I'm not sure if every team has their boots tied up and ready to climb it. 503 damage above. Seti might be ready to go, but at the same time, with this damage, with this position, they're going to be looking so good. There'll be many teams below them looking for shots, but can't find much.
So many builds at the Cracker to find that. We saw them earlier do that pad play and catch somebody out here, and now they're going to take a moment to rest and figure out how they're going to rotate. They pad with a short one, and they're going to try to move to the front. No eyes eyes on them. They're going to tarp right on top and find a great layer to operate with. And look at the tarp from Seti. He's going to put them ahead. And now they're going to turn and burn. But look at Thomas HD. Thomas HD and Anas are on the mid-ground getting focused on Dioxy. They have to work their way down. Get down. There's too much pressure from height.
Desperation for Thomas HD and Austin Queasy doing anything they can to hold on to height, do what they did yesterday, win a game, have some control, but they melt under the pressure. And as everything just drips down, as Queasy's loot just falls towards the ground, it's looking bad for the team as Lightning starts to strike as well. 162 damage below Surge. This might be locking them down, getting them hard stuck at 430 points.
I told you the moving circle is going to be a problem for Thomas HD, and it is, but he goes through. Oh no, 152, but the reply was too strong. And now Anas, he's on fire. It is not fine.
The entire mindset of Thomas HD, Anas, and Queasy set ablaze like Anas in the box as well. That is just tough to deal with, but there's going to be one game to bring it back. All right. Still is a solo. Different side of the page, different colors indeed. All the way here on low, he's still clutching it up. 3 elims breaking that tie between him and Tayson. Every elimination, every placement here matters for this team. They're going to be locked in hip to hip against another team that's all the way closer towards height. We're going to be looking at exactly what they can do to make a difference. Noah Riley trying to get his match up, trying to get the money in the bag. He's looking to see exactly what's in front of him. It's nothing. He's safe for now.
All eyes are on Noah Riley, and Seti is in his eyes right now. He's trying to take out Seti, gonna push into the tarp. Only a 27 tag, and no, that is closed out as Aqua goes for height against Tayson, Chapix, and Hen. He gives it up, but Seti and Teaqueer with 482 points, maybe in the lead right now.
This trio, though, battle-scarred, well-worn as they come into this endgame, losing Cammy all the way to this point, having no utility, but having the passion, the damage. Ghost is down. Said he's doing it. He's catching up. 5 eliminations. Almost up to 6.
My.
He's unstoppable. An absolute blast of damage, 360 degrees, no matter what layer he's on. Said he can see it all. His third eye open. He's going for this next pick, going for the next layer, but he's not going to find much all the way on low, and he's lost his teammate. The Siptos, Floki, Clement, what an insane start. And now they have to deal with a big man right above them, trying to drop him down. The Seti strat is going to be reversed onto him. He has not many mats left, just 2 to call to his name. Drop from the back, but he doesn't care. Still moving forward. He looks absolute doom in its eyes and just turns around and goes down. It's fine. Default down on the ground now. Top 3 situation, he's down. Clement, 2v2 type to beat all the way down below. No, it's 2 full teams, a 3v3 to wrap out this game.
Tayson, Hen, and Chapix here are in that top 3, and if they win this out, that's going to be a big-time points available for them. 60 points for Victor Royale. The engagement starts with a Tayson tag exchange here. Hen with no kind of white heels, he's going to have to go in with the way of the gun. Jumps in, dives in, gets a knock. Well done. Now he's going to get a second one. No, it is Floki, but Chapix is there. And with 11 eliminations and the Victor Royale, that's 545 points, Shayo, and that will put them, no doubt, in first place.
Breaker of chains, a tie is nothing for this trio in front of him. But look at Noah Riley, the difference he's making, trying to stay ahead. Tayson, though, 500 point mark broken. They're just absolutely on a complete different level. Aqua still
I'm gonna buy one of my friends, okay?
545 actually with that Chapix's POV. That will be so hard to catch up to. They get tested, they feel the pressure, and now it's just relief.
Wait, what if I'm just gonna do it? I'll play Chicken, right? Rest it.
I believe the third one for them rolling in, so they catch up to Seti, Cammy, and Teak as well on that tiebreaker if it happens. I mean, Sancho, to pull it out at any moment, this would be the one, and it was amazing.
I can't believe it's going down to the last game. It's going down to the last game. This is what you want if you're a Fortnite fan. This is what you want if you're just getting into Fortnite competitive. We're talking about elite play, and it's going to come.
Stream here. Football.